Hello, Screamer, and welcome to Scream Stream, your spoiler-free guide to streaming horror entertainment. I'm your host, James Gass. If you're new to the show, what I do is pick a horror movie from one of the various streaming services and give it a spoiler-free review. Scream Stream is available wherever podcasts are served, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. Just head over to screampod.com and all the links are there. If you'd like to support me and my creations, head over to patreon.com/JamesGass. You can also pick up some horror-themed merch from the Scream Stream TeePublic store at teepublic.com/stores/scream-stream. You'll be supporting not only the podcast, but also indie artists creating killer t-shirts as well. So please at least check it out because it is cool. And there are some pretty cool shirts over there. There is one Scream Stream shirt that I made. It's not great. I am working on a couple more designs. So for this week, so on the last episode, I said I was going to review a film called Scalps. And I tell you what, it turned out to be like one of the worst things I have ever seen, like ever. The videography was bad. The quality was bad. The acting was terrible. I couldn't understand what the story was or what was happening. So I gave up on it. I said, okay, well, let me stick with like a classic themed film. So I decided to check out The Crazies, the original Crazies, and I couldn't really get into it. I have to say, I liked the remake a lot better, like 10 times better, because I think the remake really focused more on what was happening in the town, and the original sort of focused more on, okay, let me rephrase that. The remake focused more on the infected and them going crazy. And the original focused more on these group of people trying to escape the town, which is overrun by basically the CDC. That's the gist of it. Two really different films. And the original I don't think it was horror enough, I guess, if that makes sense. So I skipped that one. And I looked for a few other things and I just couldn't find anything. And then I saw on Amazon Prime, Charlie's Farm was available. And Charlie's Farm got a lot of hype a few years ago. Came out in 2014. And this got a lot of hype because there was some really good cameos in there. I thought, you know what? I'm going to review Charlie's Farm. So I gave it a watch. And, oh boy, here we go. So Charlie's Farm from 2014, for a brief plot synopsis. In an effort to do something different, 4 friends head into Australia's outback to explore Charlie's Farm, the site where a violent family met their end at the hands of an angry mob. Despite all warnings, they persist in their horror-seeking adventure. And that's the plot synopsis right off of IMDb there. And now this does have a 4.7 on IMDb out of 10. So, but let me get in the review and then I'll give my score at the end, as I usually do. So this is an hour and a half, not too bad. And this was written and directed by Chris Sun. This stars Tara Reid, Nathan Jones. Let's see, hang on. Nathan Jones. And then there's a cameo from Bill Moseley and Kane Hodder. And this also stars Madeline Kennedy, Jenna Chanel Hayes, Dave Beamish, Alira Jacques, and a few other people. I don't know who they are. They're Australian actors. And so, okay. Now I know I said Tara Reid, and that's like one of the things where you're probably like, oh God, no, please no. Well, hang on. She wasn't that bad in this film. Definitely a lot better. She did a lot better in this film than she did in Sharknado and any other film she's been in, with the exception of American Pie. She was good in American Pie. I mean, come on. I mean, that's a stretch. So, but she was pretty good in this. She was also good in Van Wilder too. But she was good in this. I think she had some really good direction. I think everybody did a really good job. Kane Hodder is a really good actor. Bill Moseley, of course. I love Bill Moseley. I think my first exposure to Bill Moseley was House of a Thousand Corpses from Rob Zombie, which, by the way, he's coming to Miami soon in May 3rd. I got to see how much tickets are to see him. But I saw him in House of a Thousand Corpses. Been a fan since then. So yeah, acting was actually pretty good. The problem comes with acting and direction was good. The issue I have with the film is the story. The story is really weak. Like in the very beginning, they kind of show the backstory of the farm and the killer. And that's really it. You get this one little section in the first act that explains sort of the backstory, and the rest of it is just a bunch of stuff happens. People are killed. That's it. Super weak story. I think there could have been a lot more there. There could have been a lot more history. There could have been more character development. And it wasn't there. I was really disappointed with that. I think the cinematography was good. Like the art direction and the cinematography looked really good. The camera movements were nice. The shot setups were nice. Framing was great. It was a good looking film. It just didn't have a story. And if your production value isn't that great, but you have a really good story, I can forgive the technical issues. I can forgive that because you have a compelling story. And that's what I'm after. I'm after a good story. Did not have it. So yeah, sadly it kind of fell short for me. I remember reading about this on the various blogs, and there's a lot of excitement around it. And I don't know. I'm starting to wonder about these blogs because every time they hype up a movie, I watch it and it turns out to be complete garbage. I don't know what's going on. Like, are the filmmakers paying the blogs to say stuff? Are they paying is it PR paying the blogs to write good reviews? Or are these blogs just, they don't want to say anything bad about a movie? You know what I mean? Like, as a reviewer myself, I hate saying bad things about films, but I'm going to be honest. If I don't like a movie, I'm going to say I don't like a movie. I don't care if it is an indie film. If I don't like it, I don't like it. And that's my opinion. But I think on all these blogs, they give all these independent films these great reviews, and you watch them, they're not very good. They just aren't. So I don't blame the actors. The actors did a really good job. Visually, it was good. All that good stuff. It just had no story. And I hate to say it, but it didn't. And this is like labeled as comedy horror. It wasn't that funny either. There wasn't like they tried to have funny moments. They didn't. And this is sad because I typically like Australian horror films. There have been a lot of really good ones. There was one, what was it? Oh, Blackwater, about the giant alligator. Well, I wouldn't say giant alligator, but he was a pretty large alligator stalking these people. That was a really good movie. It had a simple plot, but the story was really good. I don't say the plot was simple. I want to say the concept. It was a simple concept, and they turned it into something really good, really compelling. And what else was there? Wolf Creek 2. There was a couple of others I can't think of. Like I can see the film in my head, but I can't think of the title. There's some really good stuff coming out of Australia. This was not one of them, I'm sorry to say. So for my rating, I think I'm going to have to give this like a 3 out of 5. Actually, you know what? I take that back. It's going to have to be like a 2.5 out of 5. It just wasn't that good. I hate to say it, man, but it just wasn't. I guess I'm also kind of disappointed because I went into it with high hopes. Like, I had high expectations for this film, and it just really let me down. Maybe if my expectations weren't so high, it'd be different, but it is what it is. So moving on, let's get into some new releases here, and we got some really good stuff. Let's start with Netflix. Netflix, we have 13 Sins. This is more of like a thriller film. It has a 6.3 on IMDb. If anything has like a 5.5 above, it's probably pretty good by my standards anyway. But it has a 6.3 on IMDb. I did see this. I reviewed this a few years ago for another podcast I did called Two Mugs in a Movie. This was a really good film. Really thrilling, exciting, suspenseful, all that good stuff. And then we also have The Doll and The Doll 2. I think these are Hindi films. Yes. No, these are Indonesian films. Yeah, these are Indonesian films, not Hindi. I have these on my queue. I don't know when I'm going to get around to watching them, but I do want to see them. And then we also have Pari, which is a Hindi film. That's got a 6.5 or 6.6 out of 10. Looks kind of interesting. I don't know if I'll get around to watching it, but the cover looks cool. And then we have Skyline. This was the film with Eric Balfour, Scotty Thompson, Brittany Daniel, Crystal Reed, and was directed by the Strauss brothers, Colin and Craig Strauss. This film got a lot of mixed reactions. People either liked it or hated it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's more sci-fi than anything. Like, it has a 4.5 on IMDb. I liked it. I thought it was good. This completely contradicts my earlier statement where I said if it has a 5.5, it's going to be good. But this one was really good. I did like it. I do recommend that you watch it. And then we have season 5 of Z Nation is on Netflix. Never watched this show. It's a sci-fi original show. It has a 6.7 on IMDb, so maybe it's good. If you've seen it, let me know on Twitter, scream_stream. Maybe I'll check this out eventually. I did not know they had 5 seasons already, but it must be doing something, right? If it's got 5 seasons. So maybe I will check that out. And that's it for Netflix, and moving on to Shudder. So yes, I still have Shudder. Wife is still willing to pay for it. So that big ups to her. So we have a few Japanese action films. I don't know why Shudder's getting all these action films. It's weird. It's not horror. But they have Bangkok Knockout, Marantau, Big Man Japan, Exiled, A Discovery of Witches, A Discovery of Witches, we got an email saying if we watched the first episode and did a short survey, they'd give us a month free. They did. The first episode, this is a show, it's very similar to like Sabrina or the Archie series, Riverdale, but with adults. So it's not supernatural teenage angst. It's just sort of supernatural soap opera mystery kind of thing. It's not for me. It's not my kind of thing. But I do recommend you at least watch the first episode. I guess it's more of it's a darker version of like Angel or Buffy. With more it's like those, but with like a more serious tone. You might like them. I wasn't into it, but it's a well-made show and it's well written. Just not my thing. Then we have a new podcast from Shudder called The Narrow Caves. I haven't listened to it yet. But I do plan on checking that out. Oh, they also have another podcast. I don't know if I mentioned this on the last show, but it's called, hang on, let me pull up on my phone here. It is called Video Palace. Yeah, Video Palace. And this is a 10 episodes. Each episode is about 20 minutes. I do recommend it. It is really good. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's like the black tapes, but it's about this guy who watched one of these rare like white VHS tapes, and he started talking in his sleep, and then it led him into this whole mystery thing of trying to find these white tapes. It's really interesting. It's really well acted. The acting is great. The sound design is great. I do recommend it. So I'm with that said, I'm excited to hear this new podcast from Shudder called Narrow Caves. So do check it out. We also have Resident Evil, Barking Dogs Never Bite. This is Asian horror. I've heard about this film. I've seen it in various places and never got around to watching it. I will be watching that film. We also have Cold Skin, Horror noir is coming soon. Night of the Living Dead. So it's a horror comedy about the zombie apocalypse. And I don't want to give a whole lot away. But basically, this girl, Deb, went to a bar with her friends. She got drunk, slept with this guy. And he basically was hit it and quit it. And so she was all trying to wanting to start a relationship really fast. And he was like, nope, get out. You got to go. And so as she was leaving, the zombie apocalypse happened and they got stuck together. And it's really good. I liked it. The wife didn't like it. I thought it was funny. And then we also have a film called The Last Showing. Don't know what that is. I'll check that out. I think I mentioned this one last episode. We have Darling and The Void. I reviewed The Void. Really good film. Highly recommend it. So there's your new releases for Shudder. I don't know in what country Shudder is available, but if it is available in your country, I know in US dollars it's $4.99. It's super cheap, and they have a lot of good horror films there. There's a lot of bad ones, but there's also some really good ones, and I do recommend it. Oh, The Changeling. That was the other film that I started to watch, and I need to go back and finish it because it is a good film. It's one of those classic horrors that you have to watch. So moving on to Amazon Prime, I find out that a lot of people actually do have Prime, so I'm glad I'm adding Prime to this list or doing it a lot more. I don't know how popular Hulu is, because Hulu's trying to keep track of their new releases is difficult. You just never know. They don't have a real list. You know what I mean? And there's no website that I know of that keeps track of their new horror releases. So I don't really include Hulu as often as I'd like to, because trying to find what's new there is almost impossible. But anyway, let's move on to Amazon. So we have 2006's Blood Rain, based off the video game, directed by Uwe Boll. Yeah, watch it if you want. Then we have Dr. Prasad, care of Sitara. No idea what this is. No clue. It's a brand new film, 2018. I'm going to add that to the watch list. Cockneys vs. Zombies. I've heard that's really good from several different people from 2013. I will add that to my watch list. Then we have Intruders. This stars Clive Owen, Carice Van Houten. And this film was really good. Really good movie. I highly recommend that you check that out. I don't know if I reviewed that or not, but you should watch it. Dead Girls. I've seen this in several different places. Never actually watched it. Maybe I'll add it to the watch list. Then we also have Jennifer 8. I remember that film. That was really good. I think it's sci-fi horror. But you should probably check that out. Bringing Out the Dead. So this is the Nick Cage movie with Ving Rhames and Patricia Arquette, directed by Martin Scorsese. I don't consider this to be a horror film, but it is one that you really should watch. This movie is this is one of Nick Cage's best roles ever. Ving Rhames was amazing in this film. You have to watch that movie. If you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. Please do yourself a favor. It's free on Amazon Prime. Then we have The Haunting from 1999. This is the one with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Owen. One of the Wilson. Was it Owen Wilson? Yeah, it was Owen Wilson. This was based off the book The Haunting on Hill House by Shirley Jackson. They just did a TV show, which the TV show is similar to the book but very different. But this was a film. This was actually the remake of the classic film The Haunting of Hill House. I own the classic film. It's really good. I mean, just an excellent film. If you haven't seen that, you need to watch that one too. I think it's available for rent on Amazon. But check that out. This is the remake to that film. This movie, while the production value was really good, after you read the book, it's like, yeah, this film is garbage. It's doesn't really, it follows the book kind of, but the end is complete trash. I don't know. It's one of those where maybe you should just watch it to see it, I guess. The Ruins from 2008. This is a really good film. This is also based on a book. Haven't read the book. I probably should though. But this is a really good sort of nature's revenge kind of film. I like this one a lot. I don't know what its rating is on IMDb, but on Amazon it has 4 out of 5 stars. So do check it out. And speaking of Tara Reid, we have Sharknado 5. I think 5, 4, 3, I think 2 and 1 are on there now. So, yay, Sharknado. All right. It's on Amazon Prime. Then we have Isolation. This is a really good film. I watched this years ago. Really, really liked this one. 11:58. I've heard that was pretty good. And that's really it for Amazon Prime. So there you go. There are your new releases for this week. I have not yet picked a film for the next episode. I have no idea what I'm going to review. I'm going to try to go back and do classic film again. As a matter of fact, you know what? I will do The Changeling. So for next episode, I'm going to review The Changeling. Also, starting next Sunday, I will be streaming Scream Live. I haven't really decided if I'm going to do it on the YouTube channel. Actually, you know what? Just to keep things simple, yes. I'll do this on the YouTube channel. I don't have a permalink or like a custom URL for the YouTube channel because I only have 40 subscribers, and I think you need like 100 in order to get a custom URL. So if you'd like to subscribe, I will put a link to the YouTube channel in the show notes for this episode, and I'll also post it on Twitter. And my Twitter account is @scream_stream. I'll post it on the Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/screampod. In it, let me see. Let me double check before I lie to you. Facebook, yes, facebook.com/screampod. I'll post a YouTube URL there. So yeah, I will be streaming starting next Sunday, stream to the YouTube channel. And then I'll be releasing it still as podcast as well. This way you'll just get the raw, uncut version of the show. You'll get to see some of the behind the scenes and stuff like that. Cause I just built a brand new PC. I'm streaming video games with it. I'm on Twitch. If you're into video games, I'm playing a lot of horror games. Resident Evil 7, Cry of Fear, Home Sweet Home. A lot of horror games that I'm playing, and if you want to check that out, it's twitch.com/JimboLewis, LEWIS. So I am streaming a lot of video games. So yeah, I just built a new gaming PC, gaming/streaming PC. So I might as well put it to good use as well with ScreamStream. So yeah, there we go. We'll be streaming live. That should be pretty fun. Yes, I am going to have a webcam, so it's not just going to be like a static image. I'll have the webcam there, and then as I'm going through the new releases, you'll get to see my screen and all that good stuff. So, yeah, that should be pretty fun. It's a really good experiment. I like doing live. I like being able to interact with everybody. So, yeah, come and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hopefully, if I can get 100 subscribers, we can get a custom URL because right now it's a little ridiculous. So, please consider becoming a subscriber of the ScreamStream YouTube channel. That would be awesome. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of ScreamStream. If you'd like to keep up with me outside the podcast, you can do so at screampod.com, where you can find links to all of my social profiles. While you're there, you can listen to episodes and subscribe to the podcast via your favorite podcatcher app like Apple Podcast, Spotify. Since getting an iPhone, I switched back over to the iPhone, and I've been using Overcast. I think Eric Vasquez, who listens to this show, I think he recommended it to me, and a few other people on Twitter recommended it. So I've been using Overcast. I really love it. I love that app. So you can find us in there as well. If you have a movie you'd like me to review, go to screampod.com/contact, fill out the form, and I will gladly review whatever you suggest, because, you know, I just kind of pick these films week by week. And lastly, music used for Scream Stream was created by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Until next week, I'm James Gass saying, if it was real, the cameraman would be dead too. Good night.